An El Niño is a climate pattern that starts in the Pacific Ocean where trade winds usually push warm air towards Asia. But during the El Niño years, those winds weaken, allowing that warm water to shift back towards South America. That change in ocean temperature can have a big ripple effect on weather patterns across the U.S. Right now, forecasters say La Niña is officially over and a strong El Niño could develop as early as the summer months. There's about a 50% chance it strengthens through the end of 2026. If that happens, Kansas could see noticeable impacts. First, precipitation. El Niño often brings wetter conditions to our region. That could help ease drought concerns, especially in southern Kansas, and improve soil moisture. We may also see an uptick in storm chances, especially during the seasonal transition into summer. For agriculture, that added moisture is generally good news for late summer and fall crops. Winter wheat may not see huge gains, but conditions overall could trend more favorable as we head into winter. El Niño typically leans milder here in Kansas, though can vary. And while a strong El Niño raises the chances for certain patterns, it doesn't guarantee extreme weather. Bottom line, this is a pattern we'll be watching closely as it could shape our weather for months to come.